Hey, I'm going to talk about sexuality, but before I get to that, I'm just going to do a little bit more self-promotion. My poetry books, right? That's number 1, number 2, number 3. I've just edited them and put new editions up for sale. So I'm going to put a link, and it's free shipping until the 17th of January. I put the little shipping code down there. Yeah, self-promotion. Anyway, so the sexuality thing, because anyone who's watched me for a long time will remember that I talked a lot about asexuality. I didn't have a boyfriend for a long time until I was about 21. Yes. So I thought I'd update all that stuff. So, in case you don't know, asexuality is where you're just not attracted to anyone. You're not attracted to the opposite sex, you're not attracted to the same sex, you're not attracted to animals or whatever weird shit people are into. There's a lot of weird shit out there. Yeah, you just don't have those feelings. And a lot of people kind of misunderstand that, because they're like, oh, you just haven't met the right person yet, or blah, 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 blah. So, that shit's kind of annoying. But obviously I did, meet people, and, I had a boyfriend for about, well, it would have been a bit longer than 3 years, actually. But yeah, so there was that. And then when I broke up with him, I did date another guy for about a month, but that didn't really last. Yeah, I mean, he was a sweet guy. But yeah, just, I'm weird and I have particular needs, and yeah. I suppose I've talked to a lot of people. I'm trying to open up more about it. The whole dark side thing, a lot of people can't get that. They don't mind me as an artist talking about that, but they wouldn't be comfortable being particularly close to someone like me. So, yeah, that's what really happened mainly with that one. But the first boyfriend, that went pretty strong for quite a while, but yeah, we're still friends, but yeah, kinda sad how things turned out there. And, we had issues this year, but it's okay now, it's all okay. Hopefully this year will be better. Anyway, so, for a long time I identified as asexual. Then when all this happened, I don't think it's really changed my position. I still feel asexual. I don't get attracted, generally. I think I kind of call myself demisexual now. I think that's a more accurate term, but I mean, with all these labels you can get really confused. Basically, demisexual is you have to have an emotional connection, before you can, feel anything else, so you kind of have to fall in love first. And I think that's what happened, at least with the first guy, because we hung out quite a lot, and, yeah, I just had, I had this complete freak out when I realized I was kind of into him, because I never experienced that before. I actually ended up on a suicide hotline, because it was just like, what's happening? But yeah, so now I know what it's like to feel attracted, but it's kind of made it more obvious how much I don't feel, because you'd think that I open up more now and maybe notice guys more, but it just doesn't happen. Like, I can look at a guy and be like, it's just a guy. I don't feel that attraction, and yeah, I know I don't feel it, because I know what it actually feels like to feel it. If that makes any sense at all. With the other guy, it's hard to say. I think I was, because it was only, maybe 3 or 4 months after I broke up with the other guy. So I think it was a little bit of rebound, which is, I mean, he's a good guy, and, you know, good as a friend, and we were friends, but yeah, I was kind of lonely, and I think that's probably what happened there, because, yeah, there are just things that didn't work out, and he got really attached to me really quickly, and I couldn't really deal with it, and yeah. So it's kind of a shame how that turned out, because I think he'll be a really good guy one day for whatever girl actually does suit, but that's not me. I'm too fucked up. Anyway, so that's a bit of a summary of that. So yeah, I don't think I've really changed that much. I mean, it's still easier for me to call myself asexual because I don't feel things the way other people do. And the demisexual thing, I mean, I've got a lot of friends, but you kind of have to have a lot more of a connection for me to really notice things. And if the second guy really was rebound, then I've only ever felt it for one guy anyway. You know, properly, without all that whole loneliness stuff. I think, looking back over some of my old poetry, let's tie everything in together. Particularly in my first book, I can tell I was just really, really fucking lonely. And I think that's the thing, because when I was younger, I really bought into the whole Disney values thing that they teach you, like blah blah blah, friendship, blah blah blah, treating each other well. And yeah, when that whole world sort of started to crumble and I started to see reality, I was just like, wow, fuck all this stuff. So I stopped believing in the whole, you know, friends forever thing, because it just doesn't really happen that way. But because I've been brought up that way, and because I'm human, I still have that kind of need. Also, I'm a bit of an attention seeker. When I was really little, I used to get up on stage a lot, and I wanted to do all that, and kind of got suppressed when they realized I was good at maths and made me do that all the time. But it's still been there, it's come back up. So attention seeker and sort of needing to express myself and get what's in my head out is pretty important to me. So, yeah, not being able to do that, having my values crushed and all that, I just felt really lonely all the time, and I was just reading my poetry going, oh my god, poor thing, hang on, that was me. Yeah. I think, now I still get loneliness problems. I'm single again. But, like, loneliness in terms of sharing my thoughts, although I do try and do more. I'm doing music projects, I'm still writing poetry, still doing a little bit of art here and there. Yeah, but I still get lonely. I think it's a different thing when you have a partner. There's a little bit more security. I mean, assuming you're in a secure relationship in the first place, but there's a bit more security that doesn't matter what the rest of the world's like, you still have someone there who is noticing your existence, because, oh my god, there's like 7 billion people now, and you're just one of 7 billion, and what is your life worth? I think, was it my last video, I was talking about memes, memory genes, mind genes, whatever. It's kind of like that, like, someone is definitely going to notice your mind when you're in a relationship. So I think there's a bit of comfort in that. So I didn't have the same loneliness issues. It's just, being in a relationship has other problems too. Because, you know, there's all this compromise, which is great, but sometimes there's communication problems and you don't quite understand what the other person is getting at. And I guess that causes fights, but, usually fights lead to better understanding, so it's not so bad, but sometimes it doesn't, and things go really bad. So where I am at the moment, I don't feel attraction still. I think it would be nice to be with someone again, but I'm not really holding my breath, because most people just don't suit me. I guess I'm looking for specific things. Let's stop Facebook from beeping me. I can't even see it from here, because my glasses are off, I can only see like that far. So, the other thing was, I have a lot of lesbian friends, so I was like, well, you know, if I've sort of broken the whole asexuality thing, maybe I should think about girls, but it's just like, no. I know some really great girls. Mostly I don't like chicks, but the lesbian chicks, they're more open. So they're more open about my sexuality being asexual, demisexual, whatever. They're more open about that. But also, they're just, I don't know, there's something about them that makes them a little bit more likable than some of the other girls. I mean, not all straight girls bad, but the lesbian and bisexual girls I just seem to get on better with. And I think that's why I was like, well, I wonder if I'm into girls, but no. I don't think, no. I would have to break through serious mental barriers to really get to that, probably with the whole Catholic thing. That doesn't help. That doesn't help with the asexual thing as well, but I think I've had a lot more exposure to different ideas, and I think the Catholic thing only reinforces my natural view. It doesn't force another thing onto me. Yeah, because I've thought about this stuff so much, and let's not get into the details. But yeah, ooh. Where is it? Yeah, cause, okay, one of the things, like, I used to be really terrified of sex shops, but, I found out that it's the only place that I can really get my neck spikes, that actually fit me and are of decent quality, because my old ones kind of got all yuck, and, yeah, so I went to this place in Newtown, and, oh, look how gorgeous they are. But then, like, oh my god, there's so much stuff in there that I don't understand. I went in with a friend one time, and I swear this thing was a finger puppet. It even had a face on it, and I was like, hey, finger puppet, and ended up being dragged away. I still don't know what it was, because she wouldn't explain it to me. It doesn't look like it could really be anything else. I know you're probably getting ideas if you know about this stuff, but it seriously didn't look like anything obvious. I was just like, it looks like a finger puppet. It's the size of a finger puppet. It's just, I don't know what it was. Yeah, but, so I really shouldn't be left alone in those places, because I kind of just go, what the fuck is that, and what the hell would you do with it? But then they have cool little knickknacks like this. Yeah, I got myself a claw for my birthday last year. Oh, it's so cool. Can you imagine having, like, both hands full of them? I don't think this fits on all, like, this is the smallest size, and it wouldn't fit on my pinky, and they're expensive too, so I'm not gonna get more, but, you know, that was so cool to find. I was like, it was so worth it coming into here and, you know, being scared of all the grown-up stuff. But yeah. Oh, I love it. It's so cool. And, like, it's kind of nice. It's, like, tickly, as long as you don't go too hard. It's like, anyway, what was I saying? Yeah, it just feels cool, and it, like, feels really cool in your hands. What was I talking about? So, thinking about girls, you know, the Catholic thing. Yeah, okay, Catholic thing. Where was I going about? Yeah, so I don't think the Catholic things really influenced me too much. I think what I feel is just my natural me. Because I'm pretty good at figuring out what I feel, although I do a lot of introspection, and sometimes I come up with ideas that, you know, aren't quite right. Like the schizoid thing was an interesting theory, but it's not me. I don't fit a lot of the characteristics, so I'm not schizoid, but my parents have wondered if I'm a little bit on the autistic scale, but, you know, that could mean anything. I'm just not particularly sociable, and I have some weird ideas in my head, and I can be a little bit, you know, stuck in habits. I don't know, like, if you know what you like, just go with it, instead of, you know, especially if you're spending money on something that you don't know if you like or not, and then it turns out to be shit, and you're like, why did I waste that money? No, going with what you like is quite easy. I suppose there's that whole challenge yourself kind of thing, but, I don't know. I totally lost my train of thought because I was all excited about my little claw. What haven't I covered with all this? So, oh yeah, so I was talking about you know, how it'd be nice to have a partner maybe. And then I got carried away with the lesbian thing, and that's where I that. Yeah, so, I think it would be nice to have a partner. For me, it would probably have to be a guy. I think, I seem to get on better with guys more than straight women. Yeah, lesbian, bisexual women, I just seem to get on better with. It's interesting. But yeah, that's just a friendship thing. I think if I was going to be in a relationship, probably have to be with a guy, because, yeah. Then again, like, who knows, I could change my mind again. I don't think I'll know until I actually feel it. That was one of my philosophies about love before I met my first boyfriend, is, you know, I don't feel it. I'll probably know it when I feel it, so I'll just go on with my unfeelingness. And it's true, I did know it when I felt it. So, you know, if I happened to meet a chick and I felt that, then I would have to change my position. But at the moment I have no evidence for that, so I'm just going to go with the current theory that I'm asexual with the occasional demisexual exception. But yeah, probably a guy. I have wondered, like, would I want kids? I don't know. My youngest brother's disabled, and that kind of freaks me out. I don't think it's a genetic thing, because there are other things that can go wrong during pregnancy. But if it was genetic, and if I did have a disabled kid, I don't think I would cope, because at the moment my other brother does more of the work with my little brother. I don't have to do as much, because I just got to a point where it's too much, and, you know, in my childhood, I kind of just kept to myself a lot. And it's only since going to uni and learning more about the world that I sort of realised how much it's affected my life. Yeah, and I've had my own issues with depression and whatever. So, yeah, I think I would really struggle if I did have kids and one of them was disabled, or more than one, if I ended up having more than one. But the idea of kids, I mean, there's that genetic legacy thing I was talking about. Also, I think it's just one of those random instinct things. Because I don't think I really want kids, but I keep having these thoughts, like, when I see something stupid, especially when kids are doing it, or like if a parent's around, and I'm like, I would never let my kids do that, or I would teach my kids this stuff, and I kind of noticed that a little while ago, and I'm like, is that some kind of subconscious thing telling me that I want kids? The other thing I was thinking is, I keep having moments in my life where everything seems pointless, and I'm like, I don't know why I exist. You know, the whole why question. Why am I here? What am I doing? I do wonder if having kids will kind of solve that. A lot of people kind of change. I know a few people who have kids now, and they kind of change their perspective on life, and they, you know, they do have that kind of biological feeling for their kids, so they try and do more. And it kind of brings more meaning to their life. But, on the other hand, given that I have a history of depression, I could just get a whole lot worse, and, you know, maybe it's not a good idea. But then there's the thing where, having kids is actually, I think it lowers your risk of breast cancer or one of those things. On the other hand, I could just get them chopped off, because what are they good for, really? Nothing. And there's not really much there. So, like, I don't wear a bra if I can avoid it. Only if I'm doing some kind of sport thing, or, you know, if I'm doing something really jumpy, then it annoys me, but most of the time, whatever. I hate bras. They're just, like, they squeeze, and it's not the same as a corset. I occasionally wear a corset. That actually kind of, you know, makes you have better posture, whereas the bra just kind of goes, meh, and tries to squeeze the life out of you. Also, taking off a corset is like this amazing feeling. It's really hard to describe, but you take it off and it's like, suddenly you turn into a slob again. It's like, whoa. Whereas when you take off a bra, you're just like, thank God that thing's off. Yeah. So, partner, possibly kids. That's something I'm wondering about myself. Do I want kids? But yeah, definitely I would prefer to have someone to share my life with in a bit more detail, particularly my mind, someone who supports that, especially my dark side. Whoever it is, if there ever is someone, they have to be able to accept that part of me, because it's not gonna go away. Sometimes I feel like it's going away, but it doesn't. It always comes back, and it's just such a fundamental part of me. I define myself a lot by it. Not so much these days as I used to, but it's still important to me, and if people can't accept that, then, they can't really get close to me. So I think it's pretty unlikely to find someone like that. I'll just go with my original plan, which was to grow old alone and maybe have... Well, I wouldn't be a cat person. Maybe I would. Cats are okay. But probably more likely dogs. I have a whole family of dogs. I like dogs. Poopy's on my bed. He's all sleepy. And can you even see him? I can't see. Oh, you can kind of see him squashed in the bed there. He's kind of all upside down and like, I'm so comfy. Oh, yeah. Oh, I love dogs. And like, human babies are all naked and wrinkly and ugly, but puppies, they're so adorable and they stay adorable. Oh, they're so much better than human babies. Oh my god. Yeah. So, I think that's everything. Well, there's also, like, if you have a partner, it's easier to, buy a place, or at least rent a place, because you're combining income and all that. So there's some more practical things that it's good for. On the other hand, I'm relatively low maintenance. I mean, I don't eat a lot. I don't drink alcohol. So, I don't smoke, I don't do drugs. I don't shower very often because I hate showering, so I save water bills. Probably the main thing I spend a lot would be electricity, because I have all my gadgets and the music set up over here now. Although at the moment it's more like a glorified shelf. But yeah, I don't shower a lot, which also means that I don't use a lot of shampoo and stuff. Although I do colour my hair sometimes, which gets a bit expensive, but it's fun. I think next I'm gonna do some dreads and things. But I think I might wait until one of my... I don't know, I've got a lot of regrowth, but it doesn't seem that obvious. Like it doesn't irritate me to look at it, so I think I'll just wait until one of my music projects is ready to gig, and then, depending on what we call ourselves, I'll do my hair in a theme that kind of suits it. And I suppose I could claim that as a business expense in a way, because it's like costuming, but I don't know, we'll see. Yeah, so, I'm small, I don't wear out my clothes that quickly, although the ones that I like a lot do tend to, especially the pants, they tend to get little rubs in the bum. Once they're in the bum, there's nothing you can do. If you get a hole in your knee, that's fine, no problem. Once there's a hole in your bum, it's like, yeah, I should get new pants. Yeah, so, I think I'm small, I don't consume a lot. I'm pretty good at budgeting. Last year I got up to I raised my goal by 50% and I reached it, and so I'm good at saving. Yeah, so I think, on my own, I could probably manage, and possibly having someone else, if they were a big consumer, that would actually eat from my savings. So there are pros and cons in the practical, financial kind of stuff about having a partner as well, but, some useful things. But that's me being very cold about the whole thing. But, because I don't have a lot of feeling, like I get lonely, but I don't have a lot of feeling for people. I have some better friends, but I'm not devastated if I don't hear from them. Yeah, so it's easier for me to think about the more cold reasons that you'd be in a relationship, but if I had some of the emotional stuff, that'd probably be good too. It's just, I'm crazy, so, there aren't many people who can put up with a serious dose of crazy, and then the dark side is kind of a unique thing to me, because, like, I take it quite seriously. It actually affects me in physical ways, like, my arm starts hurting all weird, and I can go into a different state of mind, which is, you know, it freaks me out sometimes. But yeah, I think I've like talked for ages, because I keep getting sidetracked. Holy fuck, 25 minutes. Okay, well, whatever I haven't said, you just miss out. I'm going to bed.